different than Malcolm in the middle. Getting my ass whooped in and out of hospitals. Yeah, my mama wasn't no punk, Stevie hustled for bread. Greyhound, Amtrak, mama kept us fed.
Hey, what up, though, world? It's your boy Jay Joker, and it's a hard life. Hey, today, man, I got up with me one of my young G's, man, and it's an honor and a pleasure to sit down with him today, man. I'm gonna let him introduce himself, who he is and where he's from.
My name is BENZO. I'm from San Bernardino, California.
That's right, that's right. We both came from unique backgrounds, and I know a lot about your story. That's why I chose to interview you today. And I want you to tell me when and how old were you when you first got into the criminal activity?
I was a kid, man. Probably doing my own thing, probably like 10 years old. When hanging out, about 8 years old. Picking up money from the dice game when the police pull up on the block, always run. I've been around the hood my whole life.
So you want to elaborate a little bit on your past as far as being that young and of an age, and where did that criminal activity at 10 lead you to?
Shit, at 15, I went to YA, California Youth Authority, for a robbery. They gave me 7 years, 8 months. I got out when I was 18. Parole right to the hood, right on the block. She went right back at 19, caught a dope case. Got out 21, stayed out a little while. I went back at 24 for a gun case, went to prison again. Oh, the dope case, I went to state prison. Got out on 2 paroles, YA and state prison. And I caught the gun case, went back to state prison. Got out 25. I stayed out like 4 years, and I caught this Fed case. Caught 14 years on the Fed case at 29. And then I'm back out now on my Fed case. I did 5 off the 14, filed my appeal, won my appeals through that agent dude, FBI agent getting indicted. And shit, I'm home now. I've been home almost a year. I've been home 10 months.
Okay, that's what's up, man. So have you ever been into, any question that you don't want to answer, you don't have to. If you can, just tell us a little bit about where you from, if you ever been involved in any gang activity, street activities. Okay, that's appreciated, that's appreciated. And the reason why I asked that question, because he grew up in San Bernardino, California, and California is just known for certain areas and certain people representing certain neighborhoods. Because I know you, and I know you was really young, man, when you got into the criminal activity, I do know your history. But the person that you is today, tell us a little bit about that versus who you used to be. And then why is it why was it important for you to transition into who you are today?
I mean, shit, I'm always be the same person. I'm still me. Just I got different priorities now. But I'm never gonna change who I am, who I always been. But my priorities is different. I think I just value certain things more.
Such as
before.
Family, kids, freedom.
Yeah, exactly.
Your life. It's crazy because growing up in the streets, man, we go out there as youth. I got kicked out of California at the age of 14, so I know how it is to be that young in the system. But we woke up to self-destruct. Every day we got out of our bed and walked out the door, it was to self-destruct. It was never to empower or move forward due to lack of knowledge, lack of education, lack of good mentors, lack of our conditions. I always believe in the 3 C's, choices, condition, and cognition. And it all started with the thought, the cognition. Your choices, that's up to you to make. Your condition, sometimes you can't choose or pick because, you can't, as a youth, you live where your parents move. So you just named, from basically juvenile hall to YA to state prison to federal penitentiary. How many years have you done total out of your life? How many years have you gave to the system?
Almost 10.
10 years. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
35.
35 years old. You gave 10 years of your life to the system. I heard you speaking earlier, if you mind elaborating, on the federal system. You say you just came home, you beat your appeal, doing 14 years. Now you home and you free. If you want to elaborate on that what brought you home?
Oh shit.
Versus a higher power.
Yeah, my lead FBI agent got indicted. Shit, he had like 10 charges. When he got indicted, I just filed my appeal on that based on part of his indictment was falsifying statements and witness tampering and all kind of other stuff. So when I filed my appeal in, they ain't had no choice but to honor something based on the fact that he's a rogue agent. You know what I mean? Everything he said was a lie. So if anybody protests their case, they ain't got no choice but to take the word because he's a known liar. You know what I mean? He went to prison and everything. So a couple of my partners was on that same thing, and they got their case dismissed, being that I had already played out and I was already doing time. You know, the government don't like to admit it wrong. So instead of just dismissing my case totally, they just took the 14 and offered me 6. You know, the conditions is, you know, no lawsuits or any of that. I just took the 6 and shit, I'm home now. I was already 4 in, 3.5 in, so I really wasn't tripping anyway.
Yeah, but it's a blessing that you back in society so early, you know. I want to ask a question, man. You know, most women that have not been in the system, they think that, you know, dudes that have been in the system, you know, we cry about pictures or we cry about phone calls or emails or, you know, receiving mail. Tell the people how important it is to, you know, stay in touch with the world or stay in contact with family. Did it help you along your journey to help you get to your sentence, your support system?
Yeah, I got a good support system, man. I got friends and family. I got 6 baby mamas. You know, when I was out, you know, I always been in my kids' lives, so they made it a point to keep that going. So I didn't go without a visit. You know, even when I was in California, I was in West Virginia, I was in Oklahoma, and they was on that plane bringing my kids. You know what I mean? I love them for that. You know, my support system was really well. When I first went down, people that I dealt with, you know, I made it clear. You know, when I was out, you text me, so you shouldn't have you should not go without writing me or emailing me. You say when I was out, you used to call and ask me to come over, so you shouldn't have a problem with visits. You know what I mean? When I was out, you called my phone, text my phone. You shouldn't have a problem with picking up the phone, putting money on the phone when I called. That was my thing. And if some people fell off, some people wanted to live life, well, I respect it. And even now, I still do. You know, I mean, they can do their thing, but I'm home now. And a lot of people come around when you come home, forgetting about yesterday. You know what I mean? And I'm not the type to hold a grudge, but you're here now. You know what I mean? I can't let you in a bubble. You know, for those who didn't care about the 14 years and never wavered, those are the ones that's in my favor to this day. You know, and like I said, it's no love lost. It just is what it is. You know, some people are loyal, some people are not. You know, when you test it like that, you see who are loyal. So when you said about pictures, I value my pictures. You know, it's my most prized possession, and the kids art, the art and stuff from school. But pictures are really important, even pictures from the past when you was home, because it allows you to go to the streets. You know what I mean? And you don't got to be in your cell all day. That stuff's really important. You know.
No, I can definitely relate, man, because I had a stack of pictures like this, and you know. You on the ass. Did you send them pictures? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, man, I've been waiting on the mailman, because when you in there, you know, all you have is you. And those that reach out to you and touch bases, whether they do it spontaneously or it's repetitive, it's so appreciated, you know what I'm saying? And even with the core links in the federal system where you're able to correspond every day through emails, it allows you to stay current. You know, it's allows you to be a businessman, allow you to interact with people that, you know, normally, you know, would have fell off. You know, so it's like I'm emailing you. You see I'm hitting you, you know, respond. Treat me the same way you would have treated me if I was in the world. So I definitely can relate to that. You know, my next question to you was, man, in any of your bids, you know, when you came home, was it a culture shock? Was it anything that just blew your mind? Whether it be the way family is now, how people you know, was once stand-up people, now they're not. You know, junkies or anything that was just different that shocked you, that was different. Because, I mean, I did 7 years in the federal penitentiary. When I came home, just using a cell phone was, you know, I had to ask my kids, you know, like, hey, what is this? Or how I do this? Or How do I share? You know, what, you know, they had to teach me the whole social media game because I just didn't know it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I still can't figure out Facebook. You know, I just started Instagram yesterday. I just downloaded it 10 minutes ago. I really ain't in a rush right now to jump into all that kind of stuff. I got my iPad, you know, technology, I always like stuff like that. But culture shock for me in my city. Man, I'm running across a lot of people who I got bred with and who's about something. They not about that. It's like a lot of drugs and tore up people in my generation. You know, I'm watching people out here really drug addicts. And, you know, I never been big on using drugs. I ain't never really been my thing. You know, but I'm just shocked to see how it just took over. It's like the 80s all over again. You know, we can blame the crack epidemic for the way we was raised. You know, how we grew up in our era, the 80s babies and stuff like that, late 70s, you know. But for our era, you know, looking at people who I went to school with, they just drugged out. That really tripped me out in the city.
Yeah, one of the culture shocks for me was seeing people that just look punished.
Yeah.
I'm talking about straight punished. Motherfuckers look like they've been whooped. You know what I'm saying? And it's a trip because, you know, when you in jail, you preserve. And, you know, they got drugs, they got alcohol. You know, they got everything that we got on the streets.
Mm-hmm.
But,
You gonna do the time, let it do you.
man, I came home, I looked at certain niggas like, damn, life just fucked you over with the ugly stick. You know, but moving forward, man, you know, I like to talk about the past. I like to talk about the present. But with you, I want to talk more about the future, man. You know, the goals and, you know, I'm proud of you, man. I really want to tell you that just because I know how hard you work towards your goals in these 10 months you've been home.
Yeah.
You know, it's one thing to talk about doing something, and it's another thing with action. And tell us about your action.
I mean, shit, before I left, I had bought a truck. Me and my homeboy went in on the truck. And, you know, me going to jail really messed the business up or whatever. But I always see when I came home, I seen the potential in trucking. You know, so the whole time I was gone, I'm like, man, I got to get out and get to these trucks. So I come home and I jumped in trucking school. You know, I got my license in 2 weeks. You know, I had already knew how to drive. And, I got my license again in May. I bought my truck in December. From May to December, I bought my own truck. You know, and you know, I got my own business now. So I'm running for me. I actually picked my trailer up yesterday. I got my own trailer. You know, so now it's time to just run these trucks. You know, and pretty soon, shoot, I'm trying to get some people some jobs. My goal is to get another truck within about 80 more days. You know, so if I can get that, then I'll be hiring some people. You know, preferably somebody coming out of jail. Just based on I see the potential. You know, I got 7 kids, and I feed all of them. And the amount of money I pay child support, a lot of people don't make in a month. But I pay it proudly, and with this job, I don't miss it. You know what I mean? So it's a way that I can really help a lot of people get good. You know what I mean? And I don't want people to drive for me. I want them to have their own trucks. So that's my plan, to help people get their own trucks.
That's respect, man. Once respect for that, man. That's real positive because, like you said, you're not just creating people to be employees. You want to create bosses, and that's always good in the black community because what we fail to do sometimes is give up the game. And I know that you're the type of person that you always drop knowledge. You always help use all your resources to empower those that you're around.
Yeah.
You know, but one thing I just want to lock into, man, before I move forward, is when they said. So federally, we go by months.
Yeah.
So when them motherfuckers said 14 years,
He didn't say 14 years.
which was actually 100 and what?
That nigga said, oh, dude came in, he had the deal, the plea agreement face down. I'm like, what's up, man? They come down from the 15? He was like, yeah, they came down a little. I'm like, to what? He pointed at the thing, I said, flip it over. Flip it over. I look at it, it said 168 months. I said, what the fuck is that? He's like, we're 14 years. Like, hell no, we going to trial.
We going to trial.
My kids be gone, we going to trial.
Okay, sign of it though.
That nigga told me, he said, you go to trial, you're going to give you 28. I'm like, all right, give me the pen, man. I just signed it. I did it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, let me sign this deal, shoot.
And that right there is a hard pill to swallow because I definitely have empathy for that because I wanted my trial. I mean, in my case, when I got sentenced, I wanted all my kids there, and all my kids came, and my son At the time, I want to say he was like 7, maybe 8. And my daughter was 5. So as soon as they said 96 months, you know, Jaden just went.
Multiplication.
He said, Janai, you'll be 14 when Dad come home.
Loud in court.
Loud in court. And I'm sitting here looking like, but, you know, that's hurtful. You know what I'm saying? So to know that, you know, Dan, you know, I got 7 kids and, you know, my daughter's going to be grown and probably married and I'll be a grandfather. Or,
yeah, I was 2027 and I was getting in trouble. So I knocked
you know,
that back down. 2027.
You know, so before the appeal process, realistically, how did you cope with that? Knowing that you were sitting there and had to do 14 years. At what age? What, you was 30?
Yeah, I wasn't even 29. I was almost 30.
Okay.
But, shoot, I mean, you know, I got to do it.
I mean, how'd you cope? Read, study? Did you re-educate yourself?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm a reader. You know, I like books. I like all kinds. I read whatever. You know, no matter whether it be a philosophy book or... I stopped reading hood books. I don't really like hood books no more. But I don't care what it is. Put it on my lap. I'm going to read it.
That's crazy you said that because I'm a studier. And I read a lot of Donald Trump's books, a lot of Rich Dad, Poor Dad's, Warren Buffett books. I read a lot of books, Russell Simmons, Dr. Dre's. And I stayed away from urban books. And I stayed away from urban books because I know the story already. Yeah. That's why I avoided niggas in prison. I fucked with a lot of geeks, a lot of squares, a lot of weirdos. But I fucked with people that knew about import, export. I deal with people that knew about oil refinery. I deal with people that knew how to teach me something that I had no knowledge of. Mm-hmm. You know, I have probably about 40 to 50 some certificates, Coastline Community College and things of that nature. I took the RDAP program for self-improvement with knowing I wasn't getting the time off.
I took it for the time off.
Believe me, if I could have tried, I went to damn near DC with my 8, my 9, my 10. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying though, realistically, man, is we put ourselves in positions, man, to self-destruct without knowing the outcome. You know, while I was incarcerated, you know, I woke up to a lot of emails normally different than the normal good nights that I put out every night. And in the morning, I usually know that certain people's gonna hit me back and say good morning or good night. But this day in particular, man, I received, it just didn't look right. And the first email I clicked on, you know, it was about your brother. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was being notified that his brother, Corey Broussard, known as Corn Dog, had got murdered. And not even to just elaborate about your brother, man, who was a wonderful person in my life and as well as yours, but I heard, man, you laid him to rest like he was the president. I heard he had the best friend in the world. And I received pictures from that, man, and I just want to commend you on being strong because I knew that y'all two was like bosom buddies. Yeah. I still, in my head, see the pictures of y'all two when y'all was little with the, you know, the old-fashioned, you know what picture I'm talking about?
My mama made it so far.
Nigga looked like he was Little House on the Prairie.
Cold slave.
Nah, man, but you know, I just commend you, man, on everything that I seen you come from and what you about to become. Yeah. And I just want you to continue to do great things, man. Keep taking care of them kids. Yeah. Keep building legacies. Continue to empower black men to do something positive with themselves. And like you said, you want to put ex-cons into trucks because the type of money that they make driving trucks is what they was used to making on the block. Yeah. And there ain't too many jobs out here that's going to allow you to compensate what you used to. I respect my PO because she told me the most important thing, and I didn't understand that time. I kind of thought she was putting me in a trick bag. She said, I read your paperwork. I know you're used to having numerous amounts of money. Do not get a job for 9 months. And I looked at her and said, why? She said, because them checks that they going to give you is going to put you right back in the dope game. She said, ain't no way you're going to get no $1,100 a month and be satisfied when you used to making $2,000, $3,000 a day. Man. So I respected that. So by the time permitted itself, 9 months came, I appreciate any motherfucking dollar I could get. So I was able to accept.
That halfway house humble the hell out of you.
You know, yeah, definitely.
Catching, they make you catch that bus.
Yeah, man. And honestly, I gotta say, God, I've had so many cars that I can't even count. All type, low riders, everything you can name of, European, foreigns, trucks. And I gotta say, man, humbly, I got my ass on the bus when I got out the feds.
Yeah.
I got on that motherfucking bus.
Yeah.
Looked out the window and I cried. I ain't gonna lie, but I cried because I was grateful that I had enough humility to get my ass on the bus instead of get a box flown to me and go back to the streets. So once again, brother, I appreciate you.
Sure.
J Joker, it's a hard life. Yay.
All my life is struggling. Every day I'm hustling.